Thank you for being here. Just for those who don't know you, could you just say a couple of words who you are, introduce yourself?
My name is Alexander Chi. I'm a one-down professional player with the North American Go Federation. I got my professional qualification in 2022.
Yeah, and just recently, I mean, there's the Go Congress coming. I read this somewhere on the website that all three generations of the Chi family are going to be there. And that, quite honestly, that sounds like it's scary and important at the same time. So the question I want to ask you is, when you were a kid, did you have a choice as to whether you're going to be a Go player or not?
It's funny because I first started learning Go from my dad in China, but then after we came back, I had a few month break. But then one day my dad was like, hey, there's this Go class running in New Jersey with Feng Yun, 9-dan professional. And he's like, you should go. And at first I don't want to go. Then my parents, they forced me to attend that first session. But after that first session, I first truly fell in love with the game. And I became excited to go to her classes. And it all started from there.
How old were you when you went to this Feng Yuan's class?
I was 8 years old.
Okay, and how long did it take you to become pro?
Took me 6 years.
So it was fun, you were playing games against different people, but when did you make the decision that you actually wanted to become pro? Because this is quite a big step.
I remember during COVID, during class, it's like 7th grade, 8th grade, I would never pay attention. And I would always have my iPad beside my computer and would just scroll through these professional Go games. And that time, there weren't really any tournaments running. So I didn't really know how strong I was. But then after COVID, played in the Gotham Go tournament. And I realized that it was maybe 6-dan, 7-dan. And I was actually a lot stronger than I thought I was. It was then that I decided that I wanted to play in the professional qualification in August.
And you became pro right after the first qualifiers, right?
Yes, in 2022.
If everything was so simple as you describe it, it's like, oh, I discovered that I was a lot stronger than I thought I was, and whew. Nice.
I really had a large improvement in my middle school years. Now, American middle school is really not very rigorous, but then in high school, I started doing a lot of other extracurriculars like marching band, and I had a very big focus on music and playing the clarinet. So that took a lot of time out of my Go. But I still maybe spent around an hour each day doing life and death problems or playing a game. And if there were any tournaments nearby, I would try to go. Becoming a pro, I'd probably spend 3 hours a day. After school, I would get home and do some problems. And then after dinner, I would sit down in front of a board and maybe play a game with the AI or play a game online.
Reminds me of Chopin. I think he recommended that aspiring pianists should not spend over 3 hours every day learning piano. And I mean, this coming from Chopin, of course, sure, you're like, yeah, of course you could do that. But can everybody? Okay, so how would you describe the current state of Go in the US? Like, how many tournaments do you have per year? Is it very active?
The American Go scene right now is very active. I think we have maybe more than 50 tournaments a year. We have US Go Congress. There's like 550 people to 600 people attend that. And we have a lot of active professionals like myself, Ryan, Michael. I think it's a very good culture to bring in more players and keep growing Go in America.
Who are some of the maybe rising American Go stars that you would recommend paying attention to?
Well, I know that there's quite a few 10-year-olds that are going to be playing in the professional Go qualification this August, like Michael Shui. And there's some really young kids like Evan Tan and Josh Land that are around 6-dan, and I believe they're 12 and 13 years old. So you're going to keep your eye out for those players.
Now that the Congress is coming, maybe what is an American Go Congress? Like what's special about it?
The American Go Congress is once a year. We have 550 to 600 players that are gathering in one place. this year it's going to be Georgetown in Texas, which is just north of Austin. And there's going to be events like there's going to be US Masters, which is the tournament where all the strongest players in North America are going to play. And we have the US Open where you have Q players, low down players. They're all going to play in that tournament. And we also have events like Perigo, Crazy Go, and it's just a get together of people who are passionate about Go.
Yeah, this actually sounds a lot like the European Go Congress, and I mean it's a very similar event held around similar dates in Europe. It's somewhere in Europe. Every time it's a different country. Do you feel like there's some kind of competition between the two?
I think they might conflict slightly with the dates.
Yeah.
Because some of the US Go Congress does overlap with the European Go Congress. But I think other than that, both definitely work towards the same goal of promoting the game in the West.
How in the world did you become so strong so quickly? Because you were like you started when you were like 8, and then and then here you go, you're already one done pro, and you're like beating everybody. So how did this happen?
First of all, I have a lot of very strong teachers that I should thank. So Feng Ying, 9-dan professional from China. From a very young age, she gave me a very good fundamentals. Like, she would give me books on life and death that I would just grind through, and that became the basis of my reading. While after that, I became Ryan Lee's student. And that was when my style really began to shift towards a more balanced style. Because before, as a kid, I was very, very aggressive, like most kids are. And
so would you say that from Ryan, you learned more about strategy?
Playing more solidly and not just trying to be super aggressive. And then I had another teacher, who's Jian Zhongfan. Right now he's a Chinese amateur 7-dan.
Which is, for everybody watching, this is very strong, because getting a 7-dan amateur in China, which it means that he probably won some world amateur Go championship or something like that.
Yeah, he's a very, very well-respected player in China. And he really introduced me to modern opening theory and AI. I have my teachers to thank for that. But other than that, I did a lot of problems to work on my reading.
And then how do you find problems these days? Because right now you're pretty strong. So if you take one of those classic problem books, they're probably way too easy, and you've solved a lot of those. You kind of just remember the answers. So how do you go about finding problems for your level now?
Well, I just go on 101 Weiqi.
Oh, 101 Weiqi, okay.
They have the whole data set. It's probably millions of problems that you can just look through.
Yeah, I've heard that their problems are famously difficult. Like once you get to like 4 or 5 done or something, they become almost. There was that famous video where Kujie was solving those problems, and he like around 5 done, he started making mistakes. Okay. Would you still say that you becoming stronger, that's like mostly about hard work, or there's a lot of talent in there too?
I think it's mostly hard work.
3 hours a day.
I became strong mostly because of the hours I put into playing games and doing problems.
Yeah. I mean, yes, but a lot of people do that. A lot of people try. A lot of people solve hundreds and hundreds and thousands of problems, but to no avail. Great.
One tip for problems is that if you're doing them online, like 101 Weiqi, is to print them out and then do them.
So you never do problems like right there on the website?
Well, I only do it if I'm in the car or if I can't print them out, because 101 they play the other moves
for
the
you.
other players' moves for you. So you're not really thinking about what they can do, and be a big detriment to your reading.
That is true. So have you printed out a lot of problem collections and solved them on with a pencil?
Yes.
Okay, that's how I think a lot of kids in Asia, that's how they do it, right? In Korea and China, I've seen those kids, tiny kids with their pencils and sitting there with thick printed PDFs, and solving problem after problem. Who is your favorite pro player? Past or present, doesn't matter.
Other than myself, I think.
Okay, sure.
I think Lee Sedol.
But I mean, like someone whose games you enjoy watching and they give you some inspiration.
Lee Sedol would be my favorite player because he was so creative and yet he had a very fighting style, but at the same time he was super consistent in being able to win, even through these like super complicated positions that most players with fighting styles, they might lose a game here or there simply because of the nature of such a complicated game. But he was super consistent and he would just see things that other players that completely didn't think about. And that was something truly special about his style.
That is true. Yeah. I remember how I'm not sure if you probably saw those. There's that famous Lee Sedol and Guli Jibango, and that's when it was like they had a very even score before that, and then once the Jibango was there, and once it was a big responsibility, and then Lee Sedol just like, all right, I gotta win this one, and just straight up, so many wins. How far away do you think is that hypothetical moment when North American professionals are going to be competing with the masters from China and from South Korea, evenly?
Well, I think it's still going to be quite far down the line because I think AI, most people think that it's closed the gap, but
Yes, that's what
I think increased the gap because AI is all about playing the AI and learning the variations from it. And what that comes down to is just hard work, just sitting in front of a Go board for hours and playing against it. But for American players, we have to go to school, we have to go to high school.
I see.
And get a job, college, all that stuff. And we just don't have the time. Or the culture to put it in as much as Asian players in China or Korea.
But speaking of that, and going back to the very beginning, to the question that I asked you before, like how did you become so strong? Well, how do American players actually even start? How do they even go about becoming that strong? Because in China and in Korea and in Japan also, there's a whole system designed just for that. You know, like if you're a parent, you know where to take your child to let him become stronger and go. But what about the U.S.? Like, what happens there if, like, my kid wants to play Go, or I want my kid to play Go, and I want him to become stronger? Is there a system for that?
No. My advice would be to find a teacher. There's plenty of great teachers in America, and they'll set you on the right path. They'll give you problems. They'll play teaching games with you or match you up with other students of a similar rank. And I think from there, it's about, once you have the teacher, it's about putting in the time.
Final lighthearted question. Before an important game or an important event when you need to play and do your best, do you have some kind of ritual or maybe some superstition that you do right the day before?
I don't really do anything the day before, but I have a superstition about the clothes that I'm wearing. So I remember I won the New York State Championships with an undefeated record in this blue suit. And now I wear this blue suit quite often to tournaments that I play.
It has like an honorary place in your house, like this is a place for a blue suit. This is my tournament attire. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Alex. Thank you for finding the time, and thank you for joining me for this call and for this interview.
I had a lot of fun.
And good luck at the Masters, playing at the Masters tournament at the Go Congress this year.
Thank you.
By the way, you can also watch these lessons on our platform, gomagic.org. Except there, you'll watch them with interactive quizzes right within the lessons and practical exercises right after them. And if you enjoy watching these Go videos and you don't want to miss others like this one, go smash that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and this is Go Magic.